He's back. It only took 9 years and about 8 months.
Right.
But Joe Ingram is back in the Sales Podcast. Welcome. How the heck are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Congratulations. That means the show's been on for over 10 years. Come
13.
on.
13, baby.
That's a beautiful thing.
No, wait. Hold on. I got to do my math. So I started in 09, but not with this
You need
podcast.
my fingers?
Yeah, I know. I got to
Yeah.
eat my toes. It reminds me of a redneck vasectomy joke, but maybe we'll get to that. Maybe we won't. No, so I started in 09 with a buddy of mine. We did the Southern social media. A couple of rednecks.
Yeah.
So we didn't stick with it. We're still working on other projects. But then I started, so I was 09. When did I start? I'm drawing a blank. No, 2013. So 11 years. So there's a 13 in there somewhere. But I started in 2013. So 11 years. And yeah, you were on early. You were like first year and a half, season and a half. And out in Orange County.
I still am, though. Not the same place I was last time, but yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're putting food on the table in SoCal, so you must be either part of the mob, you're a manipulative, stealing, hypnotizing NLP guru, or maybe you're kind of good. So which is it?
I'm going to go with all the above.
All right.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
Right,
man. You know,
I can't tell you which mob I'm a part of. That's just
you could tell me, but you'd have to kill me. Do you have clearance? Right. Do you have clearance? Do you have clearance?
I do have clearance. Yes.
So you've been in sales a long time, man. You're doing training. You grew up in car sales, right?
So I grew up electrical engineer.
And
so I joined in 2000 is when I got into automotive in the dealership.
How do you go from an electrical engineer to automotive?
A lot of mistakes. Oh, wait. No. So I worked electrical engineer by degree, got picked up by a manufacturer, like an aerospace manufacturing company called TRW.
Yeah.
They did satellites on top of credit reports. But so I worked there for 10 years, but It was always volatile. It was, every 4 years, you're going to have your budget go away because you're doing all government work.
Yeah.
And so everything goes on hold. People get laid off, go through. I made it through 10 years with only being laid off for a week.
Nice.
And so, but it was every, at least twice every year, there was a fear of it. And then my department of 30 went down to 3, and I was one of the 3. And I had only been there a year and a half. But I took the time to learn everybody's job. Yeah. And so at that point, we could go down to 3 because I could wear 4 or 5 hats while everybody in Washington decided what to do with the budget. So I did that, then left there. And of course, the natural transition when I got tired of that and stepped away after 10 years was to go work at a criminal defense law firm.
Oh, of course. So, very natural.
You could totally see the synchronicity.
Yeah,
there.
Totally.
Yeah, they wanted to start a sales call center. And I went in, I did 7 interviews, and each interview had 2 people to interview you. And I made it all the way through to the owner and his wife. And then got there. Now, mind you, my whole resume was aerospace manufacturing. And then I still sold my way into being the inside sales manager for this company and building a call center and putting everything together that way. So I was like, whoo, yeah, I'll take it. But took me about 3 months before I doubled their business, then tripled their business within a year, and built the inside sales team, ended up taking over outside sales. And so it was really good. We went from 2 states to 9 states in a year.
And what year was that?
2000.
2002, you said, or 2000?
No, that was 98, 99.
Oh, wow. How did you convince them? Well, why did you want to be in sales? Why does an engineer want to be in sales? And why do some owners want an engineer with no sales experience to run their team?
So the biggest thing was my personality was always larger than that of the engineer. I was the guy, my ADHD, I consider it a blessing. I don't believe it's a curse the way some people think, right? And I just believe ADHD means you're smarter than average because you get things quicker.
Yeah.
So sitting down and working as an electrical engineer, I literally only picked it because when I got out of high school and I said, I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to go to college? Do I not want to? Whatever. My thought was, I want to go fly helicopters. And then my mom said, why don't you go to school and learn how to put back together all of the stuff you've taken apart over the years?
Yeah.
The alarm clocks, the televisions, the stuff like that. So not knowing that an electrical engineer doesn't do that, that's what I went and signed up for in college. Went through, got picked up within 2 years. I got picked up on an actual internship that lasted for 6 months, made it through the internship, got hired on full, had them help finish pay for my rest of my degree. And that's how I ended up as an electrical engineer. But I was there 2 years and then I was into management.
Yeah.
And they put me into management. It's just, I believe the ability to communicate was what gave me access to management early on, and my ability to adapt to other people's personalities. I was managing people that had been at that company 2 years longer than I had been alive. So that taught me a lot.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then
communication
again,
is key, huh?
yeah. And sitting with the owners, when I asked them flat out, I said, what is it that appeals about me? And they said, everything you've talked about, everything we asked you about was about your ability to build a team. And that's what we need. And we need that. And you're dynamic enough and what have you that you can do. We believe you can teach people to sell. And we have a great outside sales manager that could help. And I said,
Yeah,
okay.
because I was going to ask you that next. So, and because I agree, I mean, management is key, communication is key, but if I'm brought on to coach a cricket team, if I don't know cricket, how do I ramp up? How did you ramp up on your sales skills as an engineer?
So, engineer is just a process guy that follows the steps and goes through. So this was BY, so before YouTube, right? And so there was no, let's just go online and learn stuff. So, but no, it was books, reading books and going through. But I had a natural problem solving ability. And I believe a lot of sales is solving problems, and can you predict it, see it, and move forward? And so I'm one of my ADHD gifts is pattern recognition. So with the pattern recognition, it makes it easier to look and say what works, what doesn't, and then you can apply it going forward into other realms, and it worked out. And so when you're fighting for budget, right, against Uncle Sam, right? It was all sales skills anyway, as I was running manufacturing divisions.
How were the owners patient enough, though? Because I agree with everything you're saying. It's so accurate, it's so real. But if I'm these owners, I'm like, hey, I need a salesman. Like, I love you, I love your background, I love your communication, blah blah blah. But it's like, we need sales, and like, how many books can you read? And how do they know you're reading the right books and you're creating the right scripts? Were they already kind of bumping along and they needed you to just hold people accountable to what they had? Or did they need you to create some things and have them apply the new things you created?
So they had every lead comes in and goes to the outside sales force. And so the outside sales force that was meeting with people that had been charged with criminal activities, right? So they would answer it on the phone, the mobile phone in the car, right? Or they would call and try to get back to people. And so they had a system, it was broken. The fact was there was no lead response. There was no ability to talk to somebody immediately. And they had tried doing outside call centers where it just rang through and they took info, right? Like a doctor's office after hours. And so all they wanted was somebody who could build a team inside that could cohesively work with the outside team. So our job was to field an inbound person calling, get enough information to set up an appointment face to face where my outside salespeople who are good at face to face could actually do it. And so they were doing about $300,000 a month in volume where they were with the 2 states. And so to them, they had the play money at that point to say, let's go ahead and try and see if we can get this going. But there was 11 of us that went through the interviews, and I outsold them all.
Nice.
So
all right. So that's 26 years ago. Now it's all AI and cold email. So why the hell am I even talking to you?
right, exactly. Because AI is my friend. What are you talking about? I have actually taken ChatGPT to become my business partner because I said, who would I want as a business partner? Somebody who knows everything that's ever been written on the internet, that doesn't care what time I bug them, right? And actually can give me things back in a way that I can digest it. So I literally wrote out prompts to get
Well, that
ChatGPT
was
to do it.
me, other than the, doesn't care when you bother me. But
Right.
and
Yeah. Well,
so
of course, at 2:34, 2:33 o'clock in the morning, and you're over there going, "Not now, Joe," and hang up. Right. That's
all right. So I wasn't available, so you went to ChatGPT. All right.
yes. So I did that, and I've had fun with it, and I'm like, I love the fact that you could take what somebody else has already put together, done, whether they did it well or not, and tweak it, modify it, and then make it your own. Right. It's again, I don't have to go read all the books. I don't have to go watch every YouTube video to learn it. So it was one of those situations where I stopped and said, can I embrace AI? When it first came out, I jumped on, right? And a majority of my clientele is automotive. And I'm like, okay, how can I make this work for automotive retail? And I immediately called my buddy on the East Coast who does the same thing I do, right? He's out in New Jersey. And I was like, dude, jump on this. And he was like, I'm already on. And I'm like, fantastic. We went back and forth. I go, write this in exactly. And he's like, okay. So he types it in. I type it in. We get the same answer. And I said, so here's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with something that's going to give back the same answer no matter where we are. Right. I said, so it's not going to be more of like a Google search that says, based on what you've been looking at and based on what, where you're located. I'm like, so this is now just leveled the field for everybody who's in our industry. And I said, we either take that as a win and start designing new stuff, or we just sit back and watch everybody eat into our business.
Yeah.
And so with that, we've had a lot of fun, play back and forth. I don't come from the mindset that, I have to keep things from you so that I will win. I do have the fact that there's an abundance out there for all of us. So let's go get it. And then, so I work with other trainers in the same industries. I work with trainers outside in other industries that I go into because I'm not afraid of losing business to someone else.
Yeah. So what is the role of a salesperson today?
The role of a salesperson, what I say the thing is, for me, a salesperson's job is to give a logical explanation to justify the prospect's emotional decision. Because if you can't do that, then you have somebody who needs to go think about it. Somebody has to leave, right? And they're going to decide no, because they don't know how to explain what the decision was. And a lot of times, especially when you look at automotive, right, they're making a stupid decision. Okay, they're doing something, they're getting something that they shouldn't be getting. The answer is keep driving what you're driving. You don't have to, right? Out here in Southern California where we are, the average loan is 72 months, but the average consumer is switching automobiles every 3.5 years. So you haven't even got to the point of, paying down principals. So everybody is making a decision that isn't in their best interest right now. And so to me, the answer is, can I give you a logical explanation to tell grandma why you didn't pay her back the $4,000 you borrowed from her, that you just applied that as a down payment on something else? But it goes for all industries, right? Right now, currently, if a company has over 70 employees, it's going to take 7 or more people to make a decision on whether or not they're going to pay for a product or service that's out there. Everybody went to general consensus. It's very rare to find a CEO who goes, I don't care what anybody else thinks. We're going with this because I like it, and everybody else get in line. Everybody calls a big meeting.
So All right. So does outbound prospecting work then? Does cold calling work?
Oh, yeah, but only if you're doing it right. Okay, so for
But you can't
example,
reach anybody.
well, you don't have to reach them.
They're all at home
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, everybody's working remotely, which means about 10% of the work gets done. But so the key right now is that, and I just did a couple shows myself where it's email is still very valid business to business. Okay. If you're searching for individuals, social media is where you have to actually initiate.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, whatever social media platform you're on that you can find somebody that's on the same platform as you, see if they're active. If not, don't waste your time. But looking at it, LinkedIn is a great social media platform that's geared towards business. And so that'll get you the ability to find prospects. If you're going to be, oh, I'm looking for consumers, well, then that's advertising, right? Advertising and marketing. But I just did a training with a website development company that does search engine optimization and marketing, whatever letters they come up with every week, right? But I taught them to go to LinkedIn, find someone with the title at a company that does what you want to now help them with. Copy their entire LinkedIn profile, drop it into one of my GPTs that analyzes by personality, comes back, tells you what their personality is. Then you can say, now this is something I do with AI that I love. It makes it so much more fun to prospect. Once you have the person's identity down, their job title, who they are, everything that's on a LinkedIn page, I ask GPT to give me their fear, what keeps them awake at night. And so it extrapolates all this data, comes back and says they're worried about this, this, and this. And then I go, now generate a cold DM or a cold email to this individual that approaches this subject while offering us as the solution. And now it goes, it spits it out, but it writes it to the person's personality.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to a blanket email. Yeah, does it take longer? Sure, but hand it off to a VA after a while and get it done. But again, if I can send you a message written in your language, the way you want to hear it, addressing something that I know bothers you that I can fix, I have a much higher probability of a reply and a meeting.
Well, I'm from Louisiana, so my language is Cajun.
Yeah.
It's a crawfish and Pabst Blue Ribbon. So does it write in Cajun?
It will.
All right.
It will.
All right.
Yeah, you can actually set the tone to redneck. Yeah. So
damn,
I just
son,
I haven't watched
Waterboy.
I haven't watched Waterboy. Get a transcription and then drop it in. But
that's some good H2O right there, baby.
That's right. That's high quality H2O. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it is slick. And yes, it does take time. But I've been beating that drum for years that we need to do what doesn't scale. You know, I've got a client right now that's in the video space and, you know, does great work. And, you know, I'm telling him when people opt in, send a video email.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a personalized, not because, you know, we see the hi, thanks for opting in. Like, I know that's a generic video. You just say, Joe, Wes here. Thanks for downloading my Whisper starter pack.
Right.
Like, you know, and you get that within like 10 minutes of downloading it. It only I literally just send a 10-second thing. Thanks for getting my starter pack. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you, you know, hopefully, you know, you'll be getting the weekly Whisper now. Let me know how I can help. I mean, 10, 15 seconds, hit send.
Well, and I will tell you the unofficial way to do it, right? There are AI tools out there that allow you to dub in whatever the person's name is off of a CSV file. Now,
Yeah.
I will tell you the easiest way to do it is you just go, hey, and you put your hand up across your mouth. Then they never have to worry about dubbing it. So I go, hey, Wes, and then hey, Bill, hey, Frank, hey, you know, and they never see that you said the name with your hand in front of your screen or move your hand across as you mentioned their name.
Come on, man.
Yes, come on. It's the easiest way to do it.
I know. I'm still old school. Put some humanity in my sales. Come on.
Yeah, we can try that. But again, the goal is, can you scale? Right?
Yeah, fair enough. That's funny. So I got to ask you, and I hope you know the reference, but do you take your shirt off when you're doing the sales training with cars, and do you wear like capri pants with no?
I do not at all, because it has no clue. I swear, I sit back and go, it's just a reason to attract attention, and the second one is to belittle individuals. And yes, I get the reference. I shared a stage with him, right, out in Las Vegas, and so
Like recently,
8-9 months ago.
Oh, well, that's recent enough.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
I watched him and his whole team go do push-ups on the stage. And then they announced me as a sexy Santa Claus to come up. And then I dropped effective, real training that can be done and said, it's not about, can I rattle off a word track to an objection and turn off the camera before you can argue with me. Instead, let's talk this way and then move forward. But,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Look, just shave the goat, shave your head, get a tan.
Oh, yeah.
Shave your body.
Yeah.
Okay, and your sales will go up.
True statement. Yes, it's a known fact that the tighter your clothes are, the more you sell. So,
all right, now I'm ready.
Yes, exactly.
But I just cramped up, man. I flexed too much.
Yes, exactly. I pulled the muscle just from pulling on my shirt. But
dude,
but again, my answer is this: go dig deeper, like especially with individuals that we joke about. But go dig deeper into their past and find out, did they come up with this way, or are you only buying the sound bites that are out there, right? We live in a world of sound bites. And so the answer isn't, hey, I got busted a long time ago for doing things shady. The answer is, hey, look how much money I made while I was doing shady things.
Yeah.
Right. And so, again, I would just say, get out there, do some research on whoever you're going to have talk to your team, and invest in the right person.
Why do we keep falling for this, though? Because these guys, there's always a new thing. There's always a new war room, mastermind, zenith, lion, not sheep, blah, 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 blah. And it's internet bros with crazy TRT cycles.
Yeah.
Nice haircut, nice tans, a lot of ink. Are we just old, man? Do we need to get with the program? Should we just step aside and let these young bucks just take over?
No, because the bottom line is that it's results, right? I look at it and say, we're here. Again, what are all the new guys doing? They're just being loud because, Grant has already told us that the money follows attention. And again, Grant also taught us it doesn't have to be ethical attention, right? But looking at it, are we actually delivering a result? And that's what people forget, because they're going for feel good. They're going for something other than a tangible result. And these guys just throw out, hey, I'm so special. I'm so special. I'm so special. Right? There's a book out there by Michael and a Michael that is called Pendulum. And it talks about, prior to COVID, we were spot on all the way through. But it was talking about how we swing from the me to the we kind of thing. Woo! Look at that.
Roy Williams, Michael Drew.
And again, when you look at that, what is the saying? There's going to be periods of time where it's, I'm so special, you aren't, you want to be like me. And then we flipped back around to Gary V, which is, I'm not special. We all can do this. If I can do it, you can do it, blah, 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 right? The biggest transition was when Gary said, oh, I'm going to start charging people for what I do. And everybody went, whoa, that's against what you said. And I'm like, I know, but the pendulum is coming back the other way.
Yeah.
And we got to do that. And so that's what I look at and go, again, don't buy into the hype, buy into results.
Well, they buy a lot of Facebook ads, and you can't buy those with wishes. So clearly they must be successful. So this stuff must work, because I keep seeing more ads.
Well, you're going to get more ads because the individuals, we're going to be real, because Wes, that's how we talk, right? The manager that made it to the point of hiring someone is going to hire someone that they wanted to be or resembles a lot of them. Okay. So the manager that was all fluff and all boisterous and was out there pumping on their chest saying that they're the best person. And the reason they sold more than anybody else is because they crapped out the rest of the sales team, right? And they stole deals and hoped nobody would find them in the CRM, right? Things like that. That individual is going to do what? Go hire someone like that to go put them out there, right? And again, if you look at the individuals that get the most attention that come through, 10% of the population can deliver their methodology, okay? But they surround themselves with people of the complete opposite personality because that personality that they need is the one that executes. And so, again, it just becomes, it's a cycle we're stuck in where we go for flash over substance. And again, it's not going to ever go away because people can do what? Buy more ads.
Yeah. So you said that cold calling and outbound works if it's done right. So how is it done?
So again, cold calling is not a bad thing, and everybody who's in business expects it. Okay. But are you leaving a message worthy of somebody calling you back? I still think the first thing you got to do is prepare yourself before you do it. Do some form of research. If you're just, okay, I'm the guy who says sales is only a numbers game until you become educated. Okay. It's not about do more. It's not do more, do more. The answer is, can we do better with what we have? So you got a list of 100 people, dial it as fast as you can. And if you sold 2 deals, great. Now, if you want to sell 4 next week, what are you going to do? Dial 200. You're going to do that. It's going to diminish. You can't get to the point where I go, yes, I do 1,000 calls a day, right? And you go, no, you don't. Okay. But if you got 2 people out of the 100, could we work on the 98 that didn't? And say what you did that turned them off, stopped them from wanting to go forward. And look, what if we could get you to 5 out of 100? Now you're working the same, you're just getting better results. And so it's about converting them, not about overdoing the work. And I think they've always said that work smart versus working hard, but I think you got to do both.
So we've been talking about AI, and a guy that I know and I like and respect, very successful in his field, a few months ago was bragging about his AI that he had created and it was testing, and the thing made a couple hundred phone calls, sent a couple hundred emails in like 15 minutes. And I said, hey, that's cool, but I know I would be pissed off and embarrassed. Really, I mean, if I think I'm having this dialogue with a human and then there's some glitch and I'm like, holy shit, am I in the Matrix? Are you like? So do we want to take that risk? But I mean, the technology exists now. Yeah, you want to make more? I can do 200 calls tomorrow. I can do 1,000 calls by lunch with technology, right? So how do we balance that?
So all studies that have been done recently came out and said people don't have an issue communicating with AI, provided they know it's AI. So I have clients, we have AI follow-up bots that go out and keep track. They sit within the CRM and they go ping people to try to get it. And then we get people that call us and ask for that agent and go, can we get it? And then the reps who answer the phone turn around, they got a warm lead, hand it to them, go, that's not a real person. That's just our AI. They'd go, and I'm like, whoa, stop. This person didn't even pick up on the fact it was an AI. So you're going to just break whatever rapport they thought they had with a robot, right? To transfer to a human. So don't damage that. But a lot of times the answer is explain if it's an AI, and then people can move forward. Because again, I don't have a problem, especially, I mean, my answer is if I'm going to call into something to say, I want to learn about a product, I don't have an issue if the automatic phone tree answers and says, press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3. I don't go, no, it's not a real person, and throw the phone down. Okay. Yeah. But if I get an email that comes to me that I look at, reply back, and it gives me an answer, I don't stop and go, I hate you because it's an AI. Right. And so again, the answer is, would you like me to transfer you to our AI assistant, right? Have the AI assistant ask if you want to be transferred to AI or to a real person, and then let it sit back. Yeah.
Fine.
I'll go to AI. Well, again, what does AI give us? Immediate results, which a lot of people would rather have immediate answers to questions. The other things, like I make training bots that I have that has all of my training information in it. I have one right now that's that SEO SEM company. I took all of their product information and dumped it into a bot. And then I dumped all of my sales techniques and training and personality typing and all that into a bot. And then I told them, go here and ask any question you want as if you were going to call me and ask me. And it only knows your products.
Yep.
It only knows your services. That to me is value add. And if I could sit back at 11 o'clock at night when I'm like, man, I have a question about this product, what can I say about it to this guy, right? Because one thing I noticed is that most people that are busy, okay, tend to not be on social media during the day. So you get DMs that pop up at 10, 11. One of my biggest clients I got into because I don't sleep, and they pinged me on LinkedIn at 2 a.m, and I pinged them right back. And they're like, are you real? I'm like, as real as you are, right? At 2 a.m. And they were like, oh man, we had a great conversation, set up a time to go talk and go through. But that's not something scalable, is to say Joe needs to be awake 24/7 in case someone DMs him.
Yeah.
But again, make the calls. I think what's missing a lot is actual human interaction and authenticity. But you calling me to just because I'm another dial, right, which is what the AI is doing, okay, is what is disingenuous.
Yeah.
You're not calling to help me. You're just calling to say I have to make another dial so my boss stays off my back. And I'm playing a numbers game. No, go search for the right person.
Well, that's what I see, though, is a lot of people don't know how to search. They don't want to call. They don't have a good script. They don't have good verbiage if they get somebody on the phone. So they make excuses, and do research.
Again, how many people are investing in their own sales team or in themselves to get a script that actually works, right? Because a lot of people go, I'm in sales, I can't do a script. I'm like, you have a script, it's just not right.
Yeah.
Okay, right? It gets you a 1% set, right?
Yeah.
If I gave you one that was a 10% set, would you use it? No, because it's not my words. Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
You chose to stay the other way. But that's what I look at with people. And I say, great. Because again, if it's a new sales rep, do you know what works best? A script. You know what gets them past the fear of calling? Knowing what they're going to say and how to overcome an objection.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Product knowledge gets them their information. And again, that won't go away. Right? The difference is, can I train an AI to know this stuff?
Right.
Yeah, much faster than but it's never going to go away. Right now, okay, in just the world I live in, which is the automotive side, leaving an AI to do and handle all communications with a customer, text and email, okay, gets a 17% appointment set. So 100 interactions get you 17 appointments set, okay? I can't live with that. We would go broke.
Yeah.
Because if you just did simple math and said, okay, half of them showed up and then half of them bought, right? I'm going broke.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. I got to have a 20% close. That's a close, which means I got to have a simple math 40% show, which means I should be setting in the 70s.
Yep.
And yet we're at 17.
Right.
So never believe that the machine is going to outdo your actual employee, right? We've all in sales, don't we always use CRMs, right? There's always customer relations management software, right? And the key is what? Garbage in, garbage out.
Sure.
Right? But we have to set up the CRM to do the things that no one wants to do. Now we're just giving it a brain with AI. We're just saying, hey, go do these follow-ups. And if they answer back, don't just let it sit in the inbox of somebody waiting to check their email. Okay. Then all of a sudden you go, wait, I mean, I have clients that go, I emailed everybody that we're doing training on this day. So when your trainer gets here, and they're like 3 people showed up out of 30 because no one read their email to know that there was training, including the managers that were supposed to schedule their people in for the training. So you build a CRM for what? CRMs are great. You know what? AI is great for when people don't answer you. And so again, when you get somebody to answer, give it to a live person. It's the only way it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Unless you have a total joke of a person.
Yeah. But speaking of outbound calls and work from home, how are you reaching people now? Are you getting through? Do you have to leave a voicemail? I mean, less people are at the office where the receptionist or the executive assistant can look, oh, yeah, he's in. Let me patch you through.
Right. So to me, my answer is I utilize social media or cold emails. Right.
Okay.
I have to be wherever they're going to be at, and they're not answering their phone.
Yeah.
Right. If you ask any of our kids, my kids, I call them and they don't answer. I jump over to Snapchat, send them a message, they reply right back. And I'm like, I know both were with the phone in your hand. Okay. Because even if I text them, they're still going to wait because they know that it's going to say red.
But is that CEO of that 70 or 80 or 700 person company hanging out on Snapchat?
No, but they are hanging out in LinkedIn, or they will be on Facebook where everybody's running ads. Okay. But I look at it and say LinkedIn is for business to business. That's what it's there for. Nobody gets upset if they get prospected on a business to business platform, because that's why I'm there.
Well, I do, because they're all so bad.
Do you ever correct them? Because I do that all the time. I reply
all
back
the
and go,
time.
this was horrible. You need to change this, this, and this for the next guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all the time, but I do. It's like once the cup runneth over and I've got a minute and I'm like, okay, I'm so mad. Like, this is such crap.
Right. Well, it comes in and it says, hi, Joe, and it's in your inbox. And I answer back and go, oh, your copy paste routine failed.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
You forgot to change my name.
Yeah. It's so many bad things. So, all right. So
but again, why? They're doing it for volume.
Yeah.
They're going back to sales is a numbers game. Send it out. It's totally disingenuous. And sometimes you'll run into disingenuous people that like disingenuous outreach.
So should businesses be ignoring like cold email? I had a couple guys on the podcast in the last year that love it, swear by it. I worked with a company he had about 85, 90 employees, brought me on, did some work. They already had, they had tried some cold email with one company. It didn't work. They just made a shift to another. So that I helped them, like I didn't recommend it, right? But I helped them make the best of it. And then they had some other software like prepaid. I'm like, well, you paid for it. Let's see if we can get something on that one. Just never got any real traction. But I admit I'm not a huge fan of it. And so basically three tests over 5-6 months. I mean, it wasn't a positive ROI. So,
right. And well, there's also AI tools that go out that can read a company's website, look for something positive and go through. It can look through a profile, regardless of social media, and find something to make it sound more genuine. So if you had recently put up there, oh my goodness, just helped a client make, $1 million in 25 seconds. Then when I send out a message that says, hey, Wes, congrats on helping your customer, get $1 million in 25 seconds. That's amazing. I have something, blah, blah, blah. And then I go into it. That's something more readable because it's relevant and it's up to date and it's something that is there. So there's a bunch of different softwares. There's one that I used called Luna that attaches to an email address, whatever you pick, and then also goes to LinkedIn. We'll go down, pull the people up, and it will then cross-reference their successes and what they have listed as things they're proud of.
Right.
And so now I can read the next one that comes in because I had done this 10 months ago, right? But when I look at it now, I'm like, oh yeah, whenever I get that cold email that pops up that says, oh, Ingram Interactive is blah, blah, blah. And it looks like all they did was read the meta tag for it.
Yeah.
Right. You look and go, yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crap.
Yep.
I mean, that's like all I get.
Yeah.
Change so I guess words. It's still, there's still money to be made out there, huh?
There is money to be made to have someone who understands how to dial, someone who understands how to send a message, but somebody who understands how to give a crap first.
Yep. All right. So we talked about car sales, but I mean, you said 65% of your business. So
yep.
Let me do the math. That's like 7% is non-car business. Is that
correct? Is that correct. Because the rest of it is in business. Yeah.
So, yeah. You know, I tell people I'm really quick with math, but I'm not necessarily good with math. Yeah, but I'm quick.
It's not correct, but I got there fast.
No, but I'm quick.
So, yeah, no. I have clients that are real estate mortgage. I have clients that are moving companies. I just finished tripling a moving company in Los Angeles. Right. And so we totally changed every process they had. Flip to video, something, you would like.
Okay. So how did you get that Los Angeles company?
That Los Angeles company was word of mouth. Somebody flipped it to me and they said, here, you need to talk to this company. So as I talked to them, they said, wow, you know what? You sound like you really know what you're doing. I think it would be better if you talk to my aunt because her company is larger than ours. So then flips me over to the aunt who gives me to the uncle. And so I end up talking to the CEO, sit down, start going with him. And then we mapped out everything. I sat down and I said, look, it's an industry that's new to me, but I've moved before. Right. So I have experience on the other side. Man, I know what would make it easier if we could do da 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 da. And he's like, and one of our best lead providers is Yelp. And I was like, okay, that's a dangerous situation because everybody there is looking to complain. Right. Yeah. And I said, but I also went to Yelp to look for things that I needed and I know what was wrong. So let's fix those.
Yeah.
And so we sat down, met with the staff, went over it, changed the vocabulary of the people on the phone. Right now, they're all inbound, which means everything's coming at them, or it's a lead provided on a form that somebody then begins outbounding. But the key is, right, if you get somebody who gives you a number, text them first, right? If I text you, if I called you right now, Wes, I know you haven't saved my phone number. So when I call you, it's going to say, what, spam likely? Or, right, when I call you, it's going to be an unknown number. And we know that nobody's answering unknown numbers right now unless they're in sales because they have to. Okay. Yeah. So if I text you first, then call you, then it pops up and says, maybe Joe. So you go from a 17% answer, and that's on the high side, to a 41% answer. And I would much rather play the odds there because you're doing something smarter. It's not about dialing more and keeping 17%. The answer is I'm going to grab my phone, text you, then call from my phone so that it says maybe Joe. And you have to think, what Joe did I not store in my phone?
Well, how do you get someone's cell phone?
So there's a lot of people out there that are list providers that have cell phones that are out there. Because again, I've been on the receiving end where somebody calls and goes, hey, we want to update the records for the business journal for this and that. And then they ask you all kinds of information. And I will tell you right now, cell phones are pretty easy to get just by calling and asking for it. So if you call and ask at a business one and you say it, because truly, if I never want to talk to you again, what's the easiest way for me to do that? Give you my cell phone number. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I give you my cell phone number because I can set it to block. I have an app that if I put your name on this do not call one, you're going to call and get the number you're dialing has been disconnected instead of it going to a voicemail automatically that doesn't listen to you.
Yeah.
But again, the easiest way for me to keep people out of my life is to put them in myself so that I don't accidentally answer it.
Oh crap, that's funny, man. I'm gonna have to edit that part out because I do that, so I don't want people to know. So I'm doing that to them.
I'm telling you.
Oh
I'll send
crap!
you a link to the app. You can just select that I want them to hear the disconnected number. And now every time they go, I don't get it, bro. I called you and it says your number was disconnected. So I had so-and-so call you right next to me and you answered.
They got right through.
And I was like, yep. I'm like, maybe I got you blocked.
And yeah, I tell people all the time, they're like, well, we're a very specific niche industry and we're really looking for somebody to come in. I'm like, dude, you need an outsider to come in with some fresh perspective.
True statement.
After you pass around that industry expert, well, everybody else has had them too. So now all of a sudden you're sounding just like everybody else, which is why it's a race to the bottom. You gotta discount everything to get the order. Get an outsider to come in and go, why the hell do you do that? People go, shit, I don't know.
It's because we've always done it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.5 years ago I took over as HOA president because our previous board locked us down during COVID, right? Couldn't swim, all these dumb mistakes because they were all older.
Mm-hmm.
They had no kids at home or they had their own pools. So locking down the pool didn't affect them.
Right.
And I'm like, this is crap.
Think
so
of
four
me,
of us
not
run
everyone.
so 4 of us run for the board, 3 of us get on. And so now we're looking at things with a fresh perspective, fresh eyes. Like, why is this done this way? I don't know. Because most people just don't give a crap. They're on the board. Okay, it's better than not being on the board. At least they're doing something.
Right. Well, at least I have a say in something.
Yeah, but they just phone it in. It's like, because, once you get it dialed in, it's fine. But, dude, for the first 6 months, I worked my ass off. Now we've got some issues. The last 3 months, I've been working my ass off. So, it goes in spurts. But if you don't get fresh blood coming in and questioning things, you're going to be in a rut, guaranteed.
Right. And you're using providers that have done nothing but raise the cost to the association.
Dude,
and
everybody was milking us dry.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, we start haggling. I caught the cleaning company in an outright lie. Took pictures before and after. It's done. Went back, it looks just like the same. Here's a picture to prove it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Security, that room? Yeah.
Yeah. Security company, fired. HOA management company, they did a good job, but they overcharged. They renegotiated their contract because we asked.
Right.
Just boom, 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 right down the list. Pool company, renegotiated. Pool decking, cleaning and renegotiated. Like, just by asking.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's get all the top vendors, these people we spend, $30, $50, $80,000 a year. Let's have them come in once a quarter to the board meeting and brief us. Like, hey, what's up? How are you? What's your name? Like, I don't need to chew him by his ass. I just want to see who the hell I'm giving $80,000 a year to.
Correct. And I want to be able to know there is someone to call when I'm not happy.
Yeah. Twice a year? Come in every 6 months. Like, oh yeah, okay. And the pool company came in and we kept them. Okay, I just want to put a face to a name.
Yeah,
but
my HOA had everything set up very similar. They were paying like $2,500 a month for a website. Oof. I log on and I'm like, wow, if we upgraded it to WordPress, we would be light years ahead of where we're at. And then I set up a Facebook group for everyone that lives in our community. And then I kept coming up with, hey guys, this is what we need. This one. They're like, what are you talking about? We haven't got any forms on our website. I said, because no one's on your website. It's difficult to use. I said, but there's, 100 of us in this Facebook group that are talking about what's right and what's wrong in our area and what needs to be fixed, so that I just forward that information to you. And they're like, what? And I'm like, come on, go where the people are at. That's what you want to do.
Amen. So where are you at, man?
I am across the United States and Canada with clients, but I am in lovely Southern California.
And on the web, it is thegeniuslinks.com. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
That is correct. Thegeniuslinks.com. That's one of those pages that just gives you the option to look at everything that can be done. There's sample trainings. There's, go meet Joe where somebody's interviewing me. You can book a one-on-one. All kinds of stuff are there. But for your audience, Wes, what I will tell you to do, nobody knows it's there unless I was on a show. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, so go below the lovely pictures of me and other, fancy people.
No, I want to look at you.
I know.
All right, I'll go to the bottom.
All the way to the very bottom.
Hey, very colorful. It's very colorful. I'll give you that.
It is. Well, we just
all right.
Finished June, right? So looking at it, what I want you to do is go all the way to the bottom, underneath where it says marketing materials. There is a shadowed out button. That's access to secret information.
Ooh,
so if you don't know to do it, if you click on that, that will take you to a hidden page on my website where you will find ebooks. You will find sample presentations that I've already done on how to sell more. It'll give you different documents. I mean, something as simple as a to-do list. I had people that always said, hey, man, where's that to-do list you gave us when you came in to train? And I'm like, really? I'm just going to put it up on the website and hide it. But how do you set goals? A learning style assessment. That's fantastic. I do that every time I go in to train a company, is I pass out the learning style assessment so that every student figures out if they're visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. And so once they know, then I put it back on them on how to pay attention while they're sitting there.
So why do you have this as a little hidden button?
I have it as a hidden button so that only people that have been told to go get there can get it. It's a value add for somebody having me on their show. But I don't want, again, scalability. I don't want to have to go and send off links all the time to everybody.
Like there's not even an opt-in, man. Are you the sales training Santa Claus?
Just give it. Yeah.
You're like Santa Claus.
Well, again, I'd rather somebody filtered themselves out, right, than me try to filter them out. So if somebody goes in here and they go, you know what, there's one called Unlock Your Sales Potential. And then you click on it, you watch it, and you go, hate this dude. Then I don't have to do a one-on-one call for 15 or 20 minutes out of my life because you watched a 4-minute long video, right? And so I'd rather you self-selected to be someone who wants me to help your team.
I like it.
So
I like it a lot.
Yes.
So, all right, man. Joe Ingram. We should do this more often than once a decade.
I would agree with you on that one. We really need to.
But for now, Joe Ingram, thegeniuslinks.com. Go to the bottom, get the secrets, and then call him. Thanks for coming on the show, man. It's great catching up again.
It's a wonderful time spent with Wes, as always.
Hey, now go sell something.
Yes, thank you. Go sell something. I love it.
Peace out, brother.
Appreciate you.
All right, where's my stop button? It never